all of you that have been following my channel and may have become aware of that my one project of 30 plus male privileges that I've been trying to turn around to make female privileges, you might have noticed that I haven't really been keeping that up, and there's a reason for that, and I'd like to explain it to you. First of all, I made it from number 1 to number 4 on the website that I will list in the low bar if you haven't already seen it, by a metrosexual, self-proclaimed metrosexual author named Sam Killerman. And to be honest with you, it's bullshit. It's repetitive. It's bullshit. And I made it 1 through 4, and the 4th one that I actually did in my last video was, you can be confident that your coworkers won't assume you were hired because of your sex. And of course, that is a privilege of the man. However, when I went through the list and I started to read the numbers that he came up with, I realized that it was no different. It was the same. It was repetitive. It was constantly the same thing again and again and again. And even though this list was 30 plus examples of male privilege, he probably could have narrowed it down to about 5. Number 5 said, if you are never promoted, it isn't because of your sex. Number 6 says, you can expect to be paid equitably for the work you do and not paid less because of your sex. Number 7 says, if you are unable to succeed in your career, that won't be seen as evidence against your sex in the workplace. Basically, I should have wrapped up 4 or 5 points into one to save time. But if I was to go on to the next point, which was number 8, it says this: a decision to hire you won't be based on whether or not the employer assumes you will be having children in the near future. And again, it's the same as the last. So we move on to number 9. Now, once we hit number 9, it sort of groups itself again into like complete repetitiveness. It says, number 9, work comfortably or walk down a public street without the fear of sexual harassment. Number 10, walk alone at night without the fear of being raped or otherwise harmed. Number 11, go on a date with a stranger without the fear of being raped. Number 12, dress how you want and not worry it will be used as a defense if you are raped. And number 13, if you are straight, you are not likely to be abused by your partner or to be held to continue living in an abusive household for your children. Number 14, you can decide not to have children and not have your masculinity questioned. Number 15, if you choose to have children, you will be praised for caring for your children instead of being expected to be the full-time caretaker. Number 16, balance a career and a family without being called selfish for not staying at home. Number 17, if you are straight, again straight, what the hell does this have to do with being straight? But anyway, if you are straight and decide to have children with your partner, you can assume this will not affect your career. Number 18, if you rise to prominence in an organization, no one will assume it is because you slept your way to the top. I don't know what to say here, people, but I'm sorry, I just cannot go on with this chapter of my channel. I can't do it. It is beyond stupidity. It is called repetition. I would basically have to narrow this list down to 3 or 4 privileges that men have, and somehow this asinine metrosexual extended it to 30 plus. That's like chewing 5 wads of bubblegum until they disintegrate it in your mouth. No point. Just try to see how long you can last. And that brings me to the main topic of what I wanted to talk about here today. I couldn't help but noticed that a couple of veteran YouTubers or people that provide content for YouTube, when it comes to MGTOW, started complaining about the newer content that was coming in. And I thought to myself, why would you do that? And I'm going to say their names. One was Barbarossa, or Barbar, and the other was Stardusk. And I swear to God, I used to listen to these guys along with Man Woman Myth and Paul Elam and the rest of them back in the day. And I have no criticism against the content that they pushed forward back then. But for them to say that the new content that's coming out that doesn't involve them, because let's be honest here, both of them sort of just stopped doing what they were doing, and that's great. You filled up the space with everything you had to say, and in the end you decided that you had nothing left to say, and nobody is judging you for that. But to come out and say that the new content is not worthy, or it's not up to the same standards that you considered to be your standards back then, that's ridiculous. And I challenge anybody here to go listen to Barbar talk on his last video about this, and Stardusk. And it's funny because they both came out with a response at the exact same time, so obviously they are in cahoots. But I challenge you guys to go out there, listen to it, and tell me that they're not being arrogant. Convince me they're not being arrogant, because that's the I'm like, come on, Barbar, man. You even say in your goddamn video, I'm not being arrogant. I was the one who started all of this. I have proof, and if you look at what I've done, then there's no way I can be arrogant about it. You're actually trying to say that your words cannot possibly be arrogant because you've already stated your opinion. And Stardust was the same. No, you guys are being arrogant. You are being arrogant. Finished. Done. Cut off. End of sentence. Period. You are being arrogant. And what the fuck happened? I mean, why? Why are you being so goddamn arrogant? I don't understand it. I don't care how you try to intellectualize your way around your fancy words and deep-toned voice and history on YouTube. It's still fucking arrogance, man. I'm sorry. For God's sakes, be a little bit humble, man. Come on. Be a little humble. I don't give a fuck about what's his name, Sandman, that you guys are complaining about, or anybody else. But no, that is arrogant. Very, very, very arrogant. You know, the world keeps spinning around, just like the Kinks said it did in their pop hit. It keeps spinning around without you. And if you don't like it, well, I don't know what to say. No, I know what to say. I would simply say this: don't be an asshole. And come on, man, you guys, Stardusk and Barbarossa, don't be assholes, man. Come on, wake up. You said what you had to say, and if you got something more to say on the topic of MGTOW, or on the topic of men's rights, or you know, the general relations between men and women in the world as it is today, well, then say it again. Say it in a different way. I'm sorry. All right, I'm not making MGTOW videos myself to make friends with anybody. or enemies with anybody. I'm making them because, well, number one, both of you were an influence on me. I don't have the time to put out content every fucking day. I have a kid. I'm a single parent, and I work. I work 9 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week. You know, I don't know what you people do, but I don't compare myself to the rest of the community. You know, I do my best to try and at least communicate with them the best that I can, make some kind of connection. You guys, you know, you come up there and blow smoke up your own ass. Come on, man. You know, I don't give a fuck how intelligent you actually are or how intelligent you think you are. But there's no excuse for that kind of that kind of self. How can I say it? Your arrogance, basically. I'm trying to think of a more intelligent word to say, but really it just comes down to arrogance, man. I mean, holy shit. I was really, really surprised with what you guys were talking about. Anyway, the point of this video was to inform anybody, the small little minority of people that may listen to what I have to say, that I'm giving up on my 30 plus examples of female privilege because I'm tired of repeating myself. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just not. And I know that was one of the arguments that, you know, our heralds of the MGTOW movement, Barbarossa and Stardust, you know, they've said the same thing. You know, quit being repetitive. Put out some good content. And I've always thought that I didn't need your arrogant assholes to you know, to spell that out for me. And I don't think anybody else did either. But that was the main reason why I brought this up. Anybody there listening, I'm not continuing that. It's done. It's done. If I'm inspired at some point later on where I feel that there's some real original content that I can provide to the MGTOW community that I feel is original and is some kind of benefit, then I'll put it out. But until then, no, I ain't gonna do it. I'm tired of it. You know, and I'm tired of people bitching with each other about what MGTOW is, man. Come on. And shame on you guys, man. Shame on you, Barbarossa. Shame on you. Shame on you, Stardust. You know, put your money where your mouth is. Why don't you put your face on a video, show us who you are, look us in the eye, and tell us how great you are and how you started everything. Come on, shame on you, man. Okay? It's never supposed to be like that. It doesn't even have to be MGTOW. It can be anything. It can be the YMCA. You don't act like that. All right? I'm not the kind of person that is gonna blow smoke up your ass just because you were there first. I'm not gonna do it, and I'm not gonna back down because I believe that I don't have the same potential as you do. No, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that shit. Anyway, this was just a rant. Number one, you ain't getting from me any more of these 30 plus female advantages because I'm tired of repeating my fucking self. I don't want to do it anymore. Number two, Barbarossa and Stardust, grow the fuck up. Alright? Grow the fuck up. Both of you are a bunch of sit-at-home video game playing fuckers like the rest of us. So grow the fuck up and quit being so goddamn arrogant. Peace out. See you later.